Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another batch review for Matchbox 2023. This is mix number 10 of the year. There are two more mixes left to go. We are up to mix number 10. Kicking it off with number 6 of 100. This is the 2012 BMW 3 Series Touring in white with black 5 spokes on there. This was a new casting last year in black. Now coming back in a really nice white color. Looks to be kind of a pearlescent color. Looks pretty good. All right, moving on to the next one. Already a brand spanking new casting for this batch, number 8 of 100. This is the 41 Plymouth Coupe. Brand spanking new casting for this year in kind of a mint green, which looks really good. I do like that color, so pretty excited to get that one open. So nice classics. All right, moving on to number 18 of 100, 1965 Ford C900. This was a new casting last year. It was in shell deco. This one is in Matchbox Garages decos, which is kind of a throwback to the Lesney era of Matchbox, which is a pretty nice mix. This, of course, is a licensed casting. Will fit all modern convoy trailers as well. All right, moving on to number 22 of 100. This is the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E. This one is in full licensed New York taxi deco. So not just some made-up taxi deco. It is licensed. Of course, there's no taxi symbol on the top or anything like that, but it is pretty cool. There is no hologram or anything on the back, by the way, but it does have the NYC up there to show that it is, in fact, licensed. All right, moving on to the next one. This one should be rather popular. Number 49 of 100. This is your 2004 Mazda RX-8. This one looks very, very good in just a regular black. So brand new casting here, brand spanking new casting. Howells is also doing a RX-8 casting, but nothing like this one. Matchbox is very, very stock with how they do it. All right, another 70th anniversary model for the year. We are just about done with those. Number 62 of 100. This, of course, is the MBX field car. This one looks pretty good. This is a little bit different than the one that they showed off in the press releases for the 70th anniversary. There are no prints for the headlights. So that is an unfortunate part. Moving on to the next one. This one is a little bit of a resurgence. This casting has been having a little bit of success lately. Number 79 of 100. The Porsche 911 Carrera Cabriolet. This casting all the way from, I believe, 1999 is when this casting first came out. Been modified a little bit, so we'll check the dates on there when we crack it open, take a look at them deets. But that one looks very, very, very nice. Glad to see that casting continue to roll through. All right, next one up, number 81 of 100. This is your 2020 Land Rover Defender 90. We have seen quite a few decos of this one thus far. This one, very interesting, has a relatively clear top. So normally it's a pretty dark window, so it kind of gives that good break. But this one's a pretty clear window, so kind of an interesting look. When we crack that open, we'll see how it translates to, how it looks in hand. Next one up, this one is number 83 of 100. This is the Renault Kangoo. This one is, donning that Goodyear tire service. Matchbox has been using the Goodyear licensed deco a little bit for a couple of different things, so nice to see that carry on. Probably one of the most anticipated new models of 2023 finally makes its debut. Number 99 of 100. This is the 1986 Volvo 240. This thing looks ridiculously cool in the package. Can't wait to get it open. It's going to be a very, very nice one. But if you are lucky enough to pick this batch up from Target, then you might just be lucky enough to get Red Edition number 5 for 2023. This is the Porsche 911 Turbo. This casting also is a very old casting. This one debuts back to 2001. But this one is a very, very nice addition. And this one definitely appears to have a lot more print than what we have been getting from Red Edition. So very, very nice on that. So let's pop these out of the blisters and take a look at them on the rotator guy. All right, everybody, we'll roll through these in the same direction as we took a look at the card art. Number 6 of 100, the 2012 BMW 3 Series Touring. This is in a pretty nice pearl white. It's not dramatically pearl, but it looks really, really good. I do like the color. It really helps it pop. You know, this one debuted in black last year, and of course, you know, all the body lines and stuff just kind of get absorbed when the vehicles are black versus the white ones where you can kind of see all the casting details and stuff like that. This one has full front and rear deets, which looks fantastic. A clear window, which is maybe just a tint, hair of a tint in there, looks good. You see that they did cover up the cargo area to try to help out with the fact that that ugly post is in the back, which doesn't look all that great. Taillight print's a little bit off on this one, not too bad. Production issues and stuff like that, that will just happen. But it looks really, really good with the prints on the front. A little bit older generation BMW, but I think it's a good addition regardless. Definitely like the details on that. This guy does have a license plate on there. So it does say Touring Wagon, which looks pretty good with a Matchbox plate. And then your base deets all there. S27 is the day code for this particular mix, which is a kind of a recent number relatively. All right, moving on to the next one, 1941 Plymouth Coupe. This one, number 8 of 100. This one is a brand spanking new casting. You can thank Abe specifically more than likely for this casting. He's been bringing a lot of very cool old school cars to the mix. A lot of the cars have a lot to do with, you know, either cars he owns or cars he's around on a frequent basis. But it doesn't really matter because this one is a nice addition. Adding to the stable of 40s cars. Does come with the small disc hub wheel on there. Chrome base. The running boards on the side are part of the interior, so it gets a nice little color break. Full front and rear tampos, although there's not a whole lot to tampo up on the rear. But I think it looks fantastic. I really like this model. I think the wheels might look a little tiny, but I think if they put the big disc hub wheels on there, it might be a little bit too much. But this one looks pretty good. This one is a pretty decent casting. Take a look at our base deets. Flip that around the right way. Super chrome base. So our man number is 1349. So 1349 on this brand spanking new casting. Jot that down in your catalog or however you may document those man numbers. All right, a little bit of flavor for the commercial vehicle lovers, a little bit of convoy lovers. 65 Ford C900. This is number 18 of 100. This one looks fantastic. This one is decoed up. It says Matchbox Garages on the side. It is very old school, inspired, Lesney era, Super Kings and stuff like that. This one looks good. It does have prints on both sides, and of course it does have full front print on it. No prints or anything on the rear. I think that the color breaks are perfect on this one. So you get a color for the bumper and the tanks, but yet you still have the area in the back to have your mud flaps and stuff. And of course the chassis itself looks fantastic. I really like this casting a lot. I think they did a fantastic job. The kind of semi-truck style cog kind of wheel that they use, the utilitarian wheel, hopefully that wheel will carry over to more models because I think it's just a super, super good fit. Really, really like that one a lot. It looks pretty good. All right, next one up, the Ford Mach-E. This casting's been getting quite a bit of love since it debuted. Number 22 of 100. This one does come out in something completely different than what we've seen. And this is a licensed New York City taxi deco. Yes, it is a licensed deco on there. Actually licensed from the New York City Transit Authority. This one looks pretty good. It does have prints down both sides. And then, of course, full front print on there. Just the outline around the fake grille. This one does come with the disc hub wheels. You know, it's kind of a more utilitarian style. I think it looks good. I think this one looks really, really good. It definitely lacks not having those taillight prints on there because there's not a whole lot of detail in the casting to cover up for that. But the rest of it looks really good. I do like the rest of this. It just, you know, there's no casting details to help with the taillights, which is very, very unfortunate. All right, moving on to another brand spanking new casting, which I think most people will be most excited about. The Mazda RX-8. This is the original RX-8, not the facelifted version or the 2.0 version, however you want to put it. This one is number 49 of 100. This one just comes in this nice crystal black. There is an interior in there, don't you worry. You can see it through the window. It is a pretty dark tinted window. Left-hand drive on this one, highly unlikely it's going to have an interior variation, but I guess time will tell if that's the case. This one only comes one per case, so if there is an interior variation, it will be difficult to acquire. Full front and rear tampos, I think that is perfectly fine. That's exactly what it needs. It looks good. It does have the 5-spoke. I think the 5-spoke looks good on it, although I think it would have looked a little bit better with a black 5-spoke, but they definitely wanted to have a nice looking debut version for its original casting, which I think is perfectly fine. So this one looks pretty good. Since this is a brand new casting, there is your deets on the bottom. 1358 is your man number on this brand spanking new model. Other than that, deets are pretty standard on the bottom of that. So it's a good casting. It's a pretty good casting. I like it. I definitely like it. All right, moving on to some 70th anniversary Deco Flare. Of course, the MBX field car, number 62 of 100. This was planned from the beginning. We will get a second color for this field car. Probably in Mix 12, more than likely, or I'm sorry, Mix 11 probably, or Mix 12, one of the two. But anyways, this one is in the natural 70th deco they've been using all year. Silver with some orange details, orange chrome ring on the wheels, which is they've pretty much been doing with every single model they've released of the 70th anniversary. This one is a little bit of a bummer because when they showed kind of promo shots of the 70th anniversary models, this particular casting had prints on the headlights. Unfortunately, it didn't carry over to the actual production model, which is a little unfortunate. They probably did that to cut some costs, but it's a bummer. It's a bummer. You know, it's a generic casting, and I feel like it really would have been beneficial just to give it a little bit more tampo, just a little bit. All right, moving on to a casting that has been with us for many ages. This is the 911 Carrera Cabriolet, number 79 of 100. We have also seen this in blue several times, so not like it's the first time seeing it in blue, but this is an updated casting. Obviously, it's got the 5 spokes and stuff on there, full front and rear tampos, which looks fantastic. Very intricate prints for the headlights. You know, this wasn't exactly the most beautiful era of Porsche, but it still looks fantastic. I think the casting is very good. The rear section prints and stuff like that definitely look better than the headlights. Just my opinion, but it looks good. It does say Carrera on the back as well. It's a pretty cool model. I do like this casting. Glad that it's still chugging along. 1998 was when that casting debuted. They did retool it in 2019 just to modify a few things, probably to stiffen up the windshield and stuff like that. Obviously, they took out some of the interior so that you can now see the base on the inside as well. So just some mild changes, I think, was perfectly fine, perfectly worth it. Definitely good thing that it's still rolling along. All right, Land Rover Defender 90, number 81 of 100. This casting has been used quite a bit so far, too. I've had about 4 or 5 versions already. I think it's a really good casting. It's very small. Unfortunately, it's a very small casting. But the details are very good. The casting, proportions look good for its size. I just wish that the overall casting was a little bit bigger. I mean, after all, it's supposed to be a mid to full size SUV, so kind of a bummer on that aspect. But full front and rear tampos on this, that's pretty common. We've gotten that on every version released thus far. I'm sure eventually we'll get some crazy side print details on it with something, maybe a 5-pack or something like that. I wouldn't be too surprised. Kind of nice to see the interior. This model has had a typical very dark window on the top, which is the whole top half of the casting. So a little bit nice, so we can kind of see in there and see some deets on the inside. But other than that, nothing really fancy with that one. It's a pretty average SUV. All right, moving on to another model. Yes, this is a big batch. This is the Renault Kangoo, number 83 of 100. We've seen this in a couple of decos as well. This model I do not believe has an interior. Has just blacked out windows and stuff like that. It definitely does not have an interior because as that rolled around, you could see right into the window and out the wheel gap. So unfortunately, no interior on this, but it doesn't need an interior. It's a commercial vehicle. It looks appropriate. It looks like the source material. It does give you a nice big spot on the side to put some big tampos on whenever they, figure out a license that they want to use. I think Goodyear's pretty good. We've seen it in Shell as well. So they're kind of doing car themed stuff with it, which I think is nice. A little bit of taillight print for the attempt at the taillight prints with the side passes, which not all that great. And of course the front bumper is part of the casting or the base. So that's what gives you that crazy color break. All right. Probably the most debut or the most anticipated debut of a new casting this year. 1986 Volvo 240, number 99 of 100. I think that this casting is absolutely perfect. Absolute perfection. Full front and rear prints look absolutely perfect. Small six-spoke is a perfect fit for it. I think the blue color is excellent. It's not super metallic or anything, so very era appropriate for sure. The casting is just insane. The details are insane. We'll take a look at that plate, but I think it's just a California plate that says 1986, but we'll definitely take a look at that. Does have the integrated mud flaps in the base, which looks fantastic. They just did a really good job with this casting. Just an absolutely insanely bonkers good job with this casting. The details just look amazing. It's just such a good casting. There is the deets on the back. Of course, it says Volvo 240, 1986. Trying to get that to focus a little bit. Of course, it is a California plates for sure. There is the base deets on this brand spanking new casting. MB1344 is your man number. That one looks fantastic. Details look good on there as well. Just a really good model. Really good model. Really stoked about that one. All right, last one in the mix. Of course, this is a Target exclusive. You must go to Target if you want to get this car, which is a little bit unfortunate because then you have to wait for Target to stock. This is the Porsche 911 Turbo. This casting's been around since 2001. This casting is very good. It's perfectly proportioned. I think they did a fantastic job on this one. This one has quite a bit of print. You get full front print on there. It does say Porsche on the front plate as well. Your headlights are printed up, a little bit of black for the grille. You do get your turbo down the side as well. Red stripe on those 5 spokes, which is amazing. And then you get a full complement of prints in the back with the taillights, turbo, and of course there is your 996 TT. It is of course the 996 era of Porsche. This one looks really good. The wing on the back is a little bit small, but this casting otherwise is just amazing. Really big fan of this. I'm glad that they did this as a red edition. This one looks especially nice. Just some basic deets there on the bottom in case you were curious. So it looks like it was modified in 2022. Not sure what they would have modified, but they did add the elephant on the base. Of course, put a new date on there. Probably changed a little bit of the details on the base just to kind of make the details pop a little bit. But the castings always had some pretty good details on the base. So that is a pretty good one. So we're going to roll out with that one. Pretty good mix. Nice, big, huge mix. Again, that is mix number 10 for 2023. 2 more mixes to go for the year. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about that mix. Let me know if you're going to pick it up. It's a very good one. But make sure you go to Target. Pick up that Porsche. So we're going to roll out. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next batch here on Level M. Peace.